Hello fellow old schoolers. Today it's another match from the Pegasus Cup coming at ya. I don't know about the order of these games, but I think this is the third round of the tournament, and the guy on the left here is on the Arboria art type. It's a very, very rare art type, and it's the first time on this channel. I think I played against Arboria once during my lifetime, and it wasn't this one, and it used millstones as a win con. I'm not sure what this guy's deck is all about, so we'll have to keep an eye out. He couldn't send me a deck picture because he was out traveling. The guy on the right, viewers on this channel knows him perhaps from the final of the Long Island Cup 1.5. He's the Erhnam. I played against him in the top 8, I think, in the Long Island Cup 1.0. Very, very experienced player and a very aggressive and tight deck. We do have his deck picture here, so let's just take a few minutes to go over it. And he has tweeted quite a bit since last time he played. We see the usual Erhnam skeleton here, but he dubbed this particular variant Shivan and Friends because of that Shivan dragon that's in the deck. There's also a killer bee as a new addition. A few lesser, there's a few ice storms in it, but otherwise it's tried and true. A lot of small critters, 4 giant growths, 3 berserks, and a lot of burn with chain lightnings, lightning bolts, and a fireball. The Pendelhaven is in there, and yeah, it's a 2-colored deck with the green and the red marks. Very straight to the face. It has pretty low mana curve, besides from that Shivan dragon, and will try to rush the other guy down. And if he ever stabilizes with blocking creatures, he can burn him out for the final points of life, or trample over the other guy with a huge berserking creature fueled by giant growths and stuff like that. I think it packs Blood Moon in its sideboard, and yeah, just a bunch of nastiness. So yeah, this is a more common archetype besides of those killer bees and Shivan dragon. That's a new iteration. Anyway, let's get it on. And we have the Arboria deck on the left here with that very nice playmat from the Long Island Cup 1.5. And Erhnam, the winner of the Doom tournament, on the right, aka Shivan and Friends. Okay, starting off with a Mox Emerald, City of Brass into a land tax. I had to edit this a bit, there's a glare there. So yeah, counter with a Factory and a Mox into an Agodian Pixie. So the Erhnam will probably apply a lot of pressure here early on. So that City of Brass will be a bit dangerous. Perhaps Arboria should hope for an Ivory Tower. Sylvan Library, very, very nice. This is a very nice combination with those 2 cards because while the Sylvan Library is a very good card in itself, and it lets you pick the best card of the situation of the top 3 cards of your library each turn, it does tend to provide the situation where you after a little while tend to end up with a bunch of bad cards at the top of your library, and you have to dig through the 3rd card all the time. For example, 2 lands at the top of the library when you're actually pretty mana fixed. But the land tax makes sure that you get a shuffle effect each turn. So the combination of these cards makes it possible to get a fresh dig with that Sylvan Library each draw step if only you have activated the land tax. It's a rather nifty combination. Factory here, yeah. But look at this, already 4 points of damage here. And there's a bolt. It goes really fast. Arboria needs to find its balance here. Okay, activating the land tax again. 3 more lands, and he chose not to play a basic land just before because he wanted to be able to activate the land tax. And Erhnam has only 2 lands, so if he puts down another land, the land tax will not work. But if he doesn't do that, he needs to use the City of Brass, and as said, that might be very dangerous to get those damages, extra damage in from your own lands when you're up against a rush deck like this. So I'd be curious to see if he'll make a land drop now. It will deactivate the land tax if he does so. Chooses not to. Okay. Yeah, it's difficult to know what the correct answer is here. At least he'll get another shuffle effect. Another factory. Okay. Yeah, we can pump the other one. Oh, okay, that's a holy day. Let's get this in here. It's like a white fog, very, very rarely seen, but it does buy him some time here. So all the creatures are celebrating this holy day, and no damage can be done. And then the Taxmaster is out again, getting in a bunch of new lands for the Arboria deck. Probably has to discard a few cards every now and again, but he gets that shuffle effect and can dig for some answers here. Though time is against him. He can play a basic land now as the Erhnam put down the extra factory. Yeah, there's a white mana and a Mox Pearl. He'll probably choose a green mana instead, right? Yeah, because he already has the Pearl. I suppose he has the Emerald as well, actually, so never mind. Okay. Now, I don't know what he can do here. He needs something to block all those creatures on Ivory Tower. Some life gain would be great. Okay, that's the Arboria, what the deck takes its name from. So it works like this. If the Arboria player doesn't play any cards, he can't be attacked. But he can still be burned out. So that's the danger with the Erhnam. He has several attack paths here. And he can still attack for this round. It's only the next round, and it's pumped, and there's a giant growth and a berserk. Ouch. That's game. Just a quick punch before the Arboria could take effect, and it's 1-0 for Erhnam, aka Shivan and Friends. Yeah, so what can we make of this Arboria deck? It's green and white, and there's land taxes in Silver and Ivory. So if he hasn't got them already, I suppose he'll take some Ivory Towers in now for life gain against this burn setup here. As he really needs to stay alive against the Erhnam deck for long enough for his own win con to come into play, whatever it might be. I suppose another thing he could consider is more Maces of Ith and creature removal. But we'll see. This is round number 2. The Erhnam can't use Blood Moon against him, but I suppose he can take artifact removal in. There's his hand, Factory Lightning Bolt, Elvish Archer, and a bunch of lands and a Killer Bee. Chain Lightning as well. Okay, Arboria deck on the play here. That's an Ivory Tower, yeah. So I don't know if he took that in, but it makes sense with the land taxes and all that, and for him to stay alive like this. Elvish Archer coming out here. So the Erhnam doesn't need that much mana, or that much land to cast with those mana elves. It actually puts pressure on the other guy's land taxes. Because he needs to have less mana than his. What's that? That's yeah, it's called, let me just get it up on the screen here. Power Leech. Another way to gain life for the Arboria deck, I suppose. I think he sideboarded that in, but he's not up against very many artifacts, so I'm not sure about that pick, actually. Tiger hitting the table. Unless the Erhnam has done some wacky stuff with getting in Juggernauts and stuff like that, or Icy Manipulators from his sideboard, I don't know. Okay, attacking with the elf, and he just becomes a huge giant elf. And there's the ape. So, just applying a lot of damage early on, trying to rush the other guy down here. And he needs to get some life going. That Power Leech isn't worth much. Strip mining the City of Brass here, just to crack him out of white mana so he can't remove his creatures, I suppose. Okay. And only the Kurdabe is attacking here. 2/3 creature, because there are those forests in play. Okay. And then an Elvish Archer and a Chain Lightning. It's so fast. Okay, gaining a few life with that Ivory Tower is at least. Still no artifacts from the Erhnam side, so those Power Leech, they don't really work. There's the Plains though. A Balance? No, another Ivory Tower. Yeah. I don't know how many cards he has in hand, but I don't think it's that many. Oh, okay, there's a Fog. It's like a holy day. No damage is done in that round. Killer bees coming out. He needs a balance at this point. This is just an army of creatures coming out of those forests there. Bees, apes, and elves coming over here. Factory hitting the table. A holy day. This is just a peacemaker. Let's just all be friends, the Arboria deck says. No need for all that hostility. But each turn even more creatures are coming over to say hello. Could activate the factory, chooses not to though, okay. And another holy day. Okay. So yeah, I think it's just like a fork. No creature damage done in that round. Lightning bolt doesn't block those. Coming over and then shattering one of the ivory towers, just negating his life gain at his end step. And he's trying to, the Arboria deck is trying to keep cards in hand in order to gain life from those ivory towers. That's insane. What's that, fourth round in a row that those creatures can't do anything. I think he has another life leech on his hand there. Too bad. They aren't worth much here. Can he keep this up? No. This is where they come in, and the killer bees are getting pumped with all those forests. Yeah, and this is another elf, script sprites, or whatever. Yeah, the Golden Pixies, and that's it. Erhnam just rushes him down the second round. It's really, it's really an original deck, the Arboria deck, I think. They had a third game just for fun here, so let's take every game we can get here. Starts off with a fast bond, a couple of lands, and an Ankh of Mishra. Okay, it's a new strategy here, but I suppose he has all his own lands out now. It is rather risky to use Ankhs of Mishra against the burn deck, though, if you're not trying to burn him out yourself. Okay, Silver Library. I mean, because he'll take damage from his own Ankh of Mishra, and it's his own life total that's the most important thing here. But I suppose he actually does damage to the other guy now, so that's something new. Playing an Golden Pixies here from the Erhnam side. Yeah, so I wonder if Arboria plays with Breath of God. If he's entirely creatureless, I don't know. Has another Ankh of Mishra in hand. There's an Ivory Tower. Bolting him. Putting down a mountain here, taking even more damage to the Erhnam here. He can attack for 5 if he wants to. Yeah, he does so there. Do we have a Holy Day? No, we have a Fog. Same thing. And a Code Ape coming out. Oh, that's me trying to... I guess I've finished my own game at this point. Just walking around checking out the cameras. Yeah, that's actually better. No glare here, so we see the fast spawn, the Ivory Tower, and the Ankh of Mishra just fine. Another 5 points of damage here. And a giant growth. So that's 8, no 7. 7 points of life, right? No, 8, yeah. So curious to see what the Arboria deck will bring. It's all over the place with Ankhs of Mishra, Ivory Towers, Fast Bond. I know there's a strategy here, but in this matchup, it's difficult for him to have time enough to make it work. Wheel of Fortune here. Okay, it provides the Erhnam with a huge card advantage at this point, and he can burn a lot, but it also brings the Arboria deck within Ivory Tower range here. He swings again. There's another fog, negating all that creature damage. It must be a bit frustrating for the Erhnam, but I suppose his army just grows. Okay, getting rid of the Ivory Tower here. I think he has put in some extra artifact removal against the Arboria deck, and I think that's a good call. Chain Lightning to the face here. No Ivory Tower to survive. And that's the problem against the Erhnam, that even though the Arboria deck can actually block a lot of his creatures, it costs him a card each time he does so, and the burn spells will still hit home. Library of Ling coming out. And then there's a balance. Okay, that's rather brutal. Getting rid of all those creatures. And a card from the hand of the Arboria deck and the City of Brass from the Erhnam side. He does have 2 factories still though. They won't be touched by that balance because they aren't creatures at this point. Okay, he plays a strip mine, stripping one of them. Yeah, okay, so it's a bit of a turnaround here. Erhnam is pushed back. Another factory coming out though. Activating, attacking, and pumping, so doing 3 points of damage with a 3/3 factory, then lightning bolting, that's game. Okay, so yeah, very, very creative deck from Jesper here on the left with his Arboria. I wish that we could see some more of this in this tournament, just to see how it works, perhaps against a control deck or something that doesn't pressure him so brutally in the beginning here, as the Erhnam is like that. It will win early on, or it will lose steam and just lose. So usually that's it. The games featuring the Erhnam are usually quite short. So yeah, I think they're gearing up for another round. Okay, we got a 4th round here. Excellent. Just keep them going. Ivory Tower, turn 1 from Arboria here. Mux and a Shatter, yeah. He's probably sideboarded 4 Shatters in. Actually, that's a land tax, I think. 1 white mana, and yeah, it's gotta be that. Could have been an awesome combination with the land tax and the Ivory Tower, though. Okay, but we have it going here. There's still a single land drop from the Erhnam, so if he doesn't put down another land, he can't. The Arboria can't use his. Yeah, that's what I mean. Now he get an elf out, and he doesn't need another land drop. That's why not a fan of those Anks of Mishra against him. And the Arboria can't really activate his land tax, but he can play balance, so I suppose that'll work. And now it might force the Erhnam deck to put down a land at some point because he lost that mana elf. Passing the turn. Back to Arboria here. So it's a waiting game. Arboria should wait for the other guy to see if he is forced to play a land. Oh, but there's a mana elf. Slowly regenerating his lost life, that Arboria deck at this point. I think he is within range of that Ivory Tower, but I suppose the elf will come over and say hello. And it's a big elf, but there's a holy day, so party time for that elf, no damage. It's celebrating the day instead. Another land tax. Okay, so if there's a single land drop from Erhnam now. Oh, and strip mines his own lands. That's brilliant. So now, oh no, tranquility. No, that's so nasty. It was such a brilliant play though. Strip mining his own land to get within range of a double land tax, and yeah, just losing both land taxes to that tranquility. Could have netted him 6 extra cards for that Ivory Tower. Getting over the elves, getting pumped by that Pendelhaven. Now there's a land tax in play, but no Ivory Tower, as it just got shattered there. So whenever he tries to get some very, very spicy combination going, Erhnam just seems to be able to just pick it apart. Mace of Ith coming out. Okay, I didn't know he played with that, but that's good for him. Actually, the Erhnam still has 3 lands out for that Pendelhaven, so Erhnam and Kurdape. And a Tiger. Okay, he just goes all in here. Doesn't mind the land text. And actually, the more this land text is used by the Arboria deck, the more soft card advantage he gains, because he tends to draw non-land cards now, because he just siphons those lands out of his deck and into his hand. Just needs another Ivory Tower or a regrowth for an Ivory Tower or something. And obviously, I think if he had a regrowth, he would probably take a balance at this point, perhaps. Okay, I'm back again. Just poking the cards. Okay, drew into a lightning bolt here. Man. Let's hope that the Arboria deck has something to... Yep, that's a fork. And a Killer Bee coming out. Man. Another activation of the land text here. Obviously he has completely mana fixed. He must have a bunch of cards, bunch of lands in his hand, but he does this just to increase the odds of drawing a useful card in his draw step. Did you forget to draw? No, I don't think so. Didn't quite catch it. Regrowthing, he should take a balance at this point. Yep. Putting it into his hand. But he will take a huge attack here. Does he have a holy day? Yeah, of course he does. Okay. So no damage done. So he shouldn't land text now. He should play the balance before that. Now he'll lose those lands. Because if he plays the balance, it might empty his hand. The other guy can lightning bolt him as a response. But perhaps he doesn't want to balance just yet. He might have, I think he has a fork in his hand here. Now he balances here, okay. Losing all the creatures, now he loses all his lands and all in his hand. Down to 1 card. Disenchant and something else, and the rest was just lands. Okay, passing the turn here. Erhnam coming out. That's a good top card draw, but there's a Maze of Ith against it. And lightning bolting him. Erhnam comes over. And now an Elvis Archer. I think that's a copper tablet. I'll need to just put this in here. And sort of plowsharing the Erhnam. Okay. Elvish Archer coming over, getting mazed. And the burn train just starts here. Yeah, that copper tablet, very, very dangerous card, like the Ank of Mishra to use against the Erhnam. Nova Pentacle, that's a very, very cheeky card as well. You can redirect damage done to him from creatures down to opponent's creatures. So, yeah, taking a few points of damage from the factory, macing the Elvis Archer. He needs three colorless mana to activate the Nova Pentacle. He can use it now if he attacks. He can simply just bounce the damage down to a creature. Okay, so he maces Elvis Archer and then uses the Nova Pentacle. to shoot one of the creatures, I think. I think they're discussing it here. Yep, so it dies. Nova Pentacle is not usually played in this format, and I only seen it in the Tropical Twister on this channel. It's very good when you don't have any creatures yourself, as you redirect damage you take to a creature of opponent's choice, but if you don't play with any creatures yourself, he has to redirect it to one of his own creatures. So that's pretty mean. That means that if you try to aggro him out and he has that down and mana to activate it, he can just, he won't take damage, and he'll just make the creatures commit suicide. But it's a tap effect, so he can only use it on one creature at a time, at least. Yeah, but it's surprising that it doesn't see more play. It can be surprisingly strong. And I'm cutting a bit forward here as Erhnam just reads up on the card from Oracle. Apparently he hadn't met the card before either. So yeah, this Arboria deck is just a treasure trove of rare cards. Those Holy Days and Fogs are, well, pretty rare as well. I don't think I've ever had a Holy Day played against me in any of the thousands of games I've had. So yeah, it's so cool that when people try to think out of the box like this. But Nova Pentacle, yeah, it's a diamond in the rough in some creatureless decks, I think. But yeah, I think this is curtain call for Arboria as well. He's getting killed by his own copper tablet here. I think it's the wrong strategy to use, but that's the problem when you're doing creative stuff, right? Sometimes that's all you have, the wrong equipment against the opponent. So he dies to his own copper tablet here. I think the overall strategy of the Arboria deck is just ping the other guy down with Anks of Mithra and copper tablets, and then gain a lot of life with your ivory towers to survive yourself. But against, there's a cyclone there, against hyper-aggressive decks like the Erhnam, it's so hard to manage it because they'll do so much damage to you so fast. And in this instance, it was just too much. The copper tablets and the Anks of Mithra actually works in favor of the Erhnam in a situation like that. But yeah, it's great to see these new kinds of brews on the channel. So we'll keep them coming. Old school format is a format with plenty of room to experiment. The only thing that can hold you down is the price tag, because many of the cards are just unreasonably expensive at this day and age. But if you have them, it's cool to play around with. Anyway, after this, we'll have some more games. I think the next one is featuring the Erhnam as he's going on through the tournament, and this time he's coming up against Composition A, as I have moved forward as well, I think. So let's see what will happen in the next matchup. For this, I'm signing off. If you like this game, please like it and subscribe to the channel. It helps out a lot. And I'll see you next time.